What is up? Welcome back to the channel. We have another video coming from TikTok, and this is a woman who apparently is going through it because, she was taught for so long, you're a strong, independent woman, go get your degrees, go get the bag, you know, you could do anything you want. And now all her chickens have come home to roost. She's got laid off, she's losing her house, her car is getting repoed, and she don't know what to do, because, they tell these women these days, you don't need no man, you strong, you could do everything a man could do, yada, yada, yada. You don't settle for 50-50, you know, he has to make this amount of money or you don't accept him. Don't date even, don't date down, don't date just to have a man. You can do better by yourself. So now she's starting to feel what it's like to actually, go through it. So without further ado,
By May 8th, 2025, 106,000 Black women lost their jobs, including me. And those of us that's been out here trying to find work again, it's basically just been non-existent. And I'm starting to feel like this is by design
but you strong, right?
because there are over 100,000 women, Black women like me, who have the same story, who has applied for over 300 plus jobs and just not getting it, not getting any replies. There's just no.
But you got all these degrees, right? Most educated, allegedly. When that's not even true, though. It's like you're the most enrolled, okay, but the most educated, no, that still goes to the Asian women. Everybody knows that. But, you're taught that you don't need a man. So, that 50-50 ain't looking too bad about right now, huh?
No feedback, or you get the emails that says, hey, we have chosen someone else that has been more qualified for the job, even though my experience and my
My
education
degrees.
fits the job description perfectly.
I remember Kevin Summers, he pointed this out years ago. Your degrees ain't gonna keep you warm at night. Your degrees ain't gonna be able to talk to you when you're sitting at in your bedside by yourself at the age of 50, wondering why you didn't get with somebody. So you got all these cats and dogs around and nobody, no children. You know, your degrees ain't gonna do none of that for you. You know, now these women are starting to get humbled. Now they're starting to realize that okay, maybe I let a lot of people lie to me and make my head all big. Now have nothing to do but just sit there and go through it.
And I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, this
File
is
for
the first
assistance.
time in a long time that I am actually starting to panic. I came from
Winter's
nothing.
coming.
I came from the bottom of the barrel,
So
and
has everybody.
I spent years building myself, educating myself, paying my way through college, going through a lot of experience to get to where I was in my career, for it just to be snatched away.
She's making it sound like she's the only one. A lot of people go through college. A lot of people, go through certain things in order to get their degree. The problem is a lot of these women, they get like basket weaving degrees, you know, home health or some type of, humanitarian type stuff or social worker type degrees. And no one's looking for that. They're looking for STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. A lot of women aren't going for that. The big three, the big four, I mean, the degrees up there. And women, like I said, they want to do like, nursing assistant, nursing aide. A lot of people, there are a lot of those there out there these days. A lot of nurses, a lot of people who do daycare. So people aren't looking for whatever jobs, the bullshit as degrees these days. They want real things out there like security, police force, fire, and the big four, like I mentioned earlier.
And I don't know what I'm going to do. I am facing homelessness.
Sucks.
I'm about to lose my car. I can't pay on my credit card, so my credit is about to take a severe hit.
But you was running it
Cashing
up, right?
is not enough. It's just not enough money. There's so many people that are out here unemployed, just like me. There's a lot of us that are out there.
Time to start OnlyFans.
And the little money that I did have in savings, I used that to help my daughter moved here. And it just, as a mother, I'm panicking because she didn't ask for this.
Wonder where the husband or the ex-husband or boyfriend, fiance was. You know, like you said, you start getting all this money with your degrees. You got a big head. Now you're being phased out because they don't need you, because they're starting to, downsize to the actual jobs that matter. You can't walk around saying that you got like two bachelor's degrees and so in basket weaving. So now you gotta actually get out there and get it. Better, like I said, do OnlyFans. Better start doing Uber Eats or DoorDash.
You know, there's no way that I can ask my 20-something-year-old daughter to care for her able-bodied mother who cannot find a job.
That's why you're supposed to have a husband.
I am trying to keep myself sane by humor, trying to keep myself busy with various things. But there's only so much that you can keep up the mask before you start breaking. And when you have come out of a situation that you don't want to go back to, it puts you in a it puts you in a mental state because I don't
So far, we're 3 minutes and 12 seconds into the video. There was not one bit of accepting or taking accountability whatsoever.
want to go back to homelessness. I don't want to go back to um I just don't want to go back to that. But and I thought I'd done everything I could to prevent that from happening again. I've lived on the streets before. I slept in parks before. I've walked the streets for hours when I used to be homeless. And that's why I worked so hard to put myself in a position to not go there again.
When you say work hard, did you work hard to secure a relationship with somebody you could actually agree with, you share responsibilities with? 50-50 of a $3,000 house payment, you save half of that money and you're still better off. But they want to go 100% because if a man can't take care of them 100%, they don't want nothing at all. But now you're starting to feel the opposite side of that. So do bad by your own.
I even got rejected I applied to be a cashier, a cook at a McDonald's. And the manager told me that I should be ashamed of applying for that position because I would be taking that job from other people who doesn't have the experience as I do. I don't give a damn what kind of job it is. I'm just trying to work to keep my head afloat and to keep
She never said anything about what her experiences are, though, what job experience she had.
myself off the street. I have nobody. It's just me.
That's what happens when you get in college and all this feminism, blow your head all up. Like, you don't need this, you don't need that. Go do it, go do it. And now it's a lot of these women. It's a lot of reports the past couple months now, especially because of like the whole housing. They start to repeal everything and making people have to pay their back payments and get caught up with their the mortgages and all of their rents, and they're starting to lay people off. But for the time that it was halted, people were just running it up, running bags, buying cars, $1,000, car payments, $1,200 car payments, and now start being taken away. Trump's coming in, he's getting rid of the whole Section 8 thing. He's only limited to 2 years now. And they're like, what am I going to do? Get a fucking job. That's what you're going to do. Or go work, do something, be productive. Quit trying to live off of the taxpayer's dime just because you don't want to get out there and work. Or you choose poorly about, where you're going to work, the decisions you make, the types of degrees you're going to get. You should make wiser choices or start listening to the men in your life instead of thinking that you're better than they are.
And I had to prepare my daughter for what I see coming. And as long as she's okay, I don't I don't care about I do care about going back to the street. I don't want to go back to the street.
This
Um,
music is killing me though, for real.
but as long as she's okay, then I know I'll be okay. As long as she has a roof over her head, even if I don't have. And
Where's the
I think
father?
it's by design because
Still, here we are, 5 minutes and 7 seconds. Not mention of the father whatsoever. If you're worried about your daughter, send her to the father. But no, they don't want to do that. She didn't mention if, oh yeah, to, granted, she didn't say if he's alive or if he's around or anything like that. But still, just going off this assumption, send him to the father, her to the father. You have to. It's one thing. One less thing you have to worry about. But no, it's just one last bit of control they're trying to have over the man in her life, or that was in her life.
every single job that I have applied for, I can count on one hand of how many interviews that I've been to. And the interviews were stellar. I come out feeling good. I'm like, oh, I got this, blah, blah, blah. To only get an email saying that, hey, we didn't choose you for the position, choose somebody else.
Oh my god, I'm tired of
I
this.
even
It's just the same shit over and over again. But take accountability. You should have planned your life out better. Granted, I know some people can't, but start doing things that more beneficial. Apply yourself more. Like I said with STEM. Instead of all these shitty degrees and shitty jobs you guys go into, just to be replaced by someone who wants to get paid less. So that's on you. Let's read some of these comments. I told my husband that my company was downsizing and I could be one of them. It told that it was something I needed to worry about. I already knew it. You know, Black women always needed black women. Too bad they realized it too late. My husband, love my husband. All the pick me's are at home with their husbands living their soft car era life. Facts. Enjoying family life, no stress, stability, and legacy. They propped up the black woman to destroy the black man. And now that he's broken, they're cutting at their knees too. It's just not a strategy. That's how you dismantle a nation from within. Honestly, y'all did it. Y'all did not see it coming. That 50-50 don't seem so bad now, does it? Like you said, Kevin Samuels, I just mentioned him earlier. He called us out years ago. Y'all called him everything but a God, a child of God. Now look at you. He's in heaven smiling pretty much. You know? Like I say, winter is here, Kevin Samuels. Wait until yep, I just said that. Wait till they cut Section 8. You know? Y'all strong and independent don't need men. You will be okay. Exactly. They've been saying that for the past 10 years. Now look at them. And y'all listing all these other singers with they got, that are married to powerful women like, like Beyonce, independent women, all the other shit. Now look at you. Never accept the reach back. Accountable commentary channel on YouTube. Men have been doing through these, ups and downs, turnarounds. It's not just women, but men are more resilient because we know that no one's going to be there for us. We don't have the shelters. We don't have, the little places to go to help men out. They're slowly starting to get it in place now, but man, we just had to be taking it for years. We can't go cry on somebody's lap. You know, they expect us to always perform. Your husband, the government would take care of you. You're right where your husband wants you. Remember the bosses, you're educated and don't need a man. It's always the same thing. You know, it's always the
by
same thing
May
over and over again. You don't need a man. You don't need a man. Now, you're starting to realize that you need a man and there's nowhere to be found because you probably cut a lot of bridges and because your attitude, people don't want to be with you. So it's all on you. But anyway, that's my thoughts. That's my commentary on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe. What do you think about it? You know, is, is she telling the truth? Are you knowing anybody that's going through stuff like this? Have you seen it in person? Let me know. I'll catch you next video. Peace.